双方球员接着练习。
OK。
欢迎现场的朋友来到桃园巨蛋体育馆，一同关注 P.LEAGUE 直男2年精彩的赛事。桃园地主桃园领航员要来出战的是台北富邦勇士队，双方球员停止练习 ，All player please stop practicing. Thank you.
呦，各位长官、各位贵宾，还有现场的所有乘客，大家好，欢迎大家来到礼拜天桃园领航员的主场。首先，在比赛开始之前，我要请所有的乘客、球迷，给你们昨天精彩的表现来一个最大的尖叫声。All right， 接下来我们要介绍今天的与会贵宾。在我们的右手边头等舱，首先让我们欢迎桃园领航员领队，同时也是敏盛医疗体系执行长杨宏仁执行长。
执行长好。
还有我们的桃园国中退休教师协会理事长、数学名师廖嘉诚老师。
老师好。
OK， 再次掌声欢迎他们啦！
各位乘客午安，这里是 P.LEAGUE 小童的广播。今天我们即将与台北富邦勇士对战，请各位乘客准备好你们的热情，与我们一起为领航员加油。各位乘客，你们都准备好了吗？在比赛开始之前，我们准备了一段精彩的演出，请各位乘客手机帮我开启拍照录影模式，与我们一起享受表演吧。再次感谢你们选择搭乘桃园领航员班机。
말해봐다 어서 다 cause I'm not shy Not shy not me 난 다 보냈다 Not shy not shy not me Give me da 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 Not shy not me 난 다 보냈다 Not shy not shy not me 너를 원해 못해 cause I'm not shy Not shy not me
再次谢谢我们的 P.LEAGUE Crew。
今天的开场演出之后，马上要来为各位介绍本场是2支对战球队登陆球员。首先为各位介绍今天来访客队台北富邦勇士登陆球员名单。球衣背号02 赖廷恩 ，Number 2 2号简伟如 ，Number 12球衣背号12号林志杰 ，Number 14 14号蔡文成 Number 21 21号曾祥军 ，Number 23 23号石伯恩 ，and Number 29 29号张登岳，绝对号76号曾文鼎。为各位介绍台北富邦勇士本场至先发5人，绝对号1号 Number 1林书伟 ，Number 3绝对号3号张宗宪 ，Number 13绝对号13号李梦学。 Number 17 绝备号17号 Michael Sinterly Number 75 75号 Semyon德古拉。为各位介绍台北富邦勇士总教练许晋哲、助理教练吴永仁、江志正、魏维、林伟浩、体能教练魏维、郑维轩，领队蔡成儒。 原地集合，全员注意！团结一心，奋战不懈，全面整装，捍卫领空。沿途乱流是我们挑战巅峰的能量。现场所有乘客，热血！ 为各位介绍桃园领航员本场次登陆球员。Number 5，最备号5号前锋，爆发力惊人，领航员穿搭最有型，超音速战绩，阿飞是元中。Number 6，最备号6号后卫，关键时刻总能挺身而出，场上无时无刻的拼命酸人，关大老美了，关大佑。 Number 7，最备号7号 forward 前锋，但是过人追求胜利，体力没有极限的半兽人爸爸林佑柱。Number 12，最备号12号后卫，枪林弹雨中依旧能稳定提供领航员前线火力支援的侦察攻击机，篮球贵公子喜德李家拓。 Number 30，最备号30号中锋，第1挡摆无坚不摧，化身为领航员的超跑坦克，领航员扛把子碰碰，陈冠全。Number 45是15号中锋，用积极的热情感染每一位战士，因为鸡排被永立为王的小皇帝小温丽华。 最备号69号，但是过来。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. It's a pleasure to bring you another broadcast of Plus League basketball. This game features teams are the Taipei Fubon Braves and the home Taoyuan Pilots, fresh off their first win at home on the season. Taking on the Taipei Braves, and a member of the Braves is Igor Zaisev, himself a Ukrainian. Igor Zaisev has played abroad since 2015. He's been in Taiwan since 2018 and a member of the Braves. starting with the last season's championship run in the Plus League's inaugural season. Hello everybody, I'm Ryan Chen. Joining me for the first time is Kai. Welcome to the broadcast, Kai.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Kai. This is my first time on the Plus League broadcast. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait.
We're partway through our player introductions, finishing up with Jordan Tolber and expected to be Su Jinyao. So the challenge, of course, in the Plus League is home teams obviously play back-to-back games, but more often than not, the road teams will be fresher than them. And added to the challenge, the Pilots get only one day off before taking on the Kings on Tuesday.
That's right.
This stretch is going to be a lot more intense than the first half of the season.
For sure. And then add on to the fact that the Pilots have always had injured players. They've had players playing for the national team recently. And so it is even more taxing for the Pilots to play in this game.
Our Mandarin broadcast duo is on the left, Yang Zhenlei, Aaron, and on the right, Cai Bao, Cai Jingjing. But instead of a more standard pre-game photo op, we'll be inviting up Igor Zaisev to be part of the team photos. He is not registered as an active player, and understandably, with the emotions running high himself personally, but he'll be joining the middle of the circle for the photo op. And our chance to say that the Plus League would like to voice our support for the victims of aggression. Recently, the people of Ukraine are under this unnecessary aggression. We hope a peaceful resolution can be achieved as soon as possible. So glad that the Pilots are coming together. Some of the fans were the ones who came up with the small flags of I Stand With Ukraine. And the Lioneers in Xingzhou have also started a fund for supplies and whatnot. Anything that people might need in terms of humanitarian aid. So just trying to do our part, however small, however large. Igor Zaisev's family still lives in the Ukraine. And so he's only able to visit with them during the off-season since 2015. But no matter how prominent, we're talking about all kinds of people doing all kinds of work abroad, at home, and having peace of mind, having safety and security is all important things.
Exactly.
We are.
This is what you love to see. It's a very bad situation. No one wants it. No one wants to see people suffer. And this is, to me, the best we can do for Zaisev.
Our tip-off expected to be in about 7-ish minutes. So coming into this broadcast, Kai, what have you kind of prepared in terms of your preparation from the Plus League Season 1 heading into second season?
During Season 1, I was a fan. I'm still a fan, but at the time, the game looks, in my opinion, a lot different than what we've seen in Season 2. In Season 1, there was a lot of more there was a lot of teams trying to adapt to new schemes, teammates trying to play with different teammates from other parts of the country. We have a lot of different imports. And in my opinion, Season 1 was more like an experimental season. And this season, I feel like you see a lot
其实我
more
之前就已经
polished.
就是发生战争的时候，我就有私讯他，就是跟他讲说，就是不管怎么样，我们就是身为队友，就是会支持你嘛。然后也可以感觉出他就是蛮焦虑的，然后就是一直在查看那个手机，就看他们现在国家的状况跟他家人的状况。那我觉得除了在背后支持他之外，就是最大的可以去做，就是给他就是多一点自己的空间。然后让他去处理他个人的一些事情，这样子。
因为我们也是没有经历过这个，但是我觉得我会很同情他啦，对，因为真的心系在家里，然后又要在这边工作，我觉得真的很辛苦啊，对，辛苦了 Z。
For the Pilots, and mentioning that Zaisev and a lot of imports playing far away from home, not having that easy access, because once they're here in Taiwan, they play through the season unless they depart part way, which we have seen in the Plus League. So there's been a lot of influx and different kind of unexpected situations, even into the second season, mostly due to COVID-19's local infection.
Right. You see from those interviews from the players that even though they're not on the same team with Zaitsev, they are competitors. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And playing basketball is a sport. And you see them showing love to Zaitsev, you just love to see it.
After yesterday afternoon's win and the Steelers' defeat in the evening, the Pilots have now climbed to the 5th spot, while the Braves, on their day off, see the Dreamers lose, and 3 teams now move half a game behind. This Plus League season is still wide open, and the 5th and 6th teams still have a shouting chance at getting into the 14 playoff.
Exactly. No. Every team is still, in theory, still in the playoff hunt. And I think this is a great chance for the Pilots to bounce back from their first half mishaps, I would say. This is a really talented and deep team with really high expectations coming into this season. And they have, in a way, kind of disappointed their fans in the first 1/3 of the season. But this is a great chance for them to bounce back.
The day before yesterday's matchup on Friday, Charles Chen visited the Pilots' home stadium set up here in Taoyuan Arena, showing off some of the hardware that they kind of built in an improvement from the second season. The Pilots responded on the court. In yesterday's game against the Dreamers, 18 steals is a season high. 26 fast break points kind of speaks to that play style they want, and scoring off opponent turnovers was a big thing for them. Though I will say, Kai, they had the worst offensive rating in any of their 4 wins, kind of catching the Dreamers off guard, but you got to take a win wherever you can.
That's right. Pilots
其实之前年前就是输球的时候，真的在休息室真的很可怕，感觉好像在什么地方，然后气氛也是很糟啊，练球也是很糟。可是真的昨天虽然赢一场也没什么好开心好骄傲，我觉得是可以持续的一直赢下去才是最主要的重点。但是我觉得赢一场，然后昨天进休息室啊，然后在游览车上，大家就是可能又看到希望了啦，就是每个心情都有放松一点。不管是不是球员还是教练团啊，就是都感觉出来，真的觉得这3个月准备这3个礼拜的准备是真的有意义的，对。
Earlier, Pong was speaking about the team cohesion, and having a lot of time off actually gave him a chance to kind of reset and refocus. They are bringing in a very different offensive system with their head coach, Tony Chen, Chen Silong. Compared to last season, Yang Yifeng's a little bit more pick and roll dominant offense. They're trying to go with a little bit more flow, a little bit more Princeton movement. And we'll see how they do on a back-to-back. We'll be bringing you starting lineups soon enough. It's a familiar set for the Braves, starting with Joseph Lin next to Jet Zhang Luxin, Michael Singletary, and their forward Ray Li Mengxue along with Digara. For the Pilots, it's the same starters as yesterday's games on the left to right. It's Hayden Wu Jiajun, joined by Tony Ray, and Shi Jingyao, joined by Jordan Tolbert and Devin Robinson. Our 3 officials, all officials from last season, crew chief by Xin Wenwei, number 7 in the middle. The last time these 2 teams matched up was January 16th in Taipei, where they won 103-84. The Pilots had no answers for Digara and Zaitsev, who was the second import. Robinson had 40 points, but you see the rest of the team struggling at shooting 34% from the field. The Braves got 17 points from Louis Jianwei Lu, who's dealing with a finger issue. But no matter what, dealing with size has been a problem for the Pilots all season, especially the bigger centers in Bular and in Digara.
That's right. Last time they faced up, Braves scored 54 points in the paint against the Pilots, as opposed to Pilots 18. The Pilots give up the most points in the paint this season, and the biggest reason is because of a lack of height, a lack of interior presence, and they need to figure out a way to stop or at least contain the Digara to have a chance to win.
So a retired professor here in the parts of Taoyuan doing the ceremonial opening tip. So So Jordan Tolbert stands at about 6'7", Devin Robinson about 6'8", up against Degara, who's 7'6", 230 centimeters listed. But every game is a new game. We'll see what adjustments they make. We have a jump ball violation, and that's how things get started off. Last season, the Braves had the most success against the Pilots, of course. As Kai, you mentioned, their imports were Dave Henry, Kadeem Jack. They also didn't have a number of their locals who they called up this season from the Taoyuan basketball team. Jet will shoot the first shot at 3, missed. Degara getting bumped, misses the money, and a rebound to the Pilots. Pilots starting off in zone. Tolbert will shoot a 3 and bury it.
That is the spot where Devin Robinson likes. He likes that off dribble, mid-range four. That's his money shot.
Degara, Singletary tries the 3 of his own, and it's good. Very simple action so far for both teams. Robinson lines one up, then drives. Right-handed lay-in. The Pilots off to a little better start, but Degara's got deep positioning. Patient with it and getting the foul. Taoyuan came over to help, but it was not enough. So the first foul of the game by the Pilots. It's interesting because Jordan Tolbert and the Pilots usually like to front big men, and that's been the traditional strategy here in Taiwan, but instead, playing straight up, spotting him from behind.
It's also very interesting that the Pilots are playing men-to-men with a help with one pass away to the paint. They're constantly doubling Degara, but I'm not sure if playing straight up against Degara is the best option for them right now. But we'll see.
Zizian tries the jumper instead of his usual set shot and misses short. Chance for the Braves to take the lead. Jet terminates the dribble and takes a tough pull-up. No good. Robinson post up on Ray, off the side of the backboard, and the Braves on the run. Singletary to Joseph Lin. There's a miss man somewhere. Singletary shot, no. Robinson fights for the rebound. Nice through pass, but Taoyuan misses the layup. Can't be missing the easy ones against the Braves. Inside pass to Degara with an easy slam in transition. Like the old adage, missed layup on one end, made layup on the other. Braves with the first lead of the game, 6-4. Degara already with 3 rebounds. They swing at Zizian. Around to Robinson. Short. No good. Robinson trying to make a recovery. Singletary through. Fouled. 2 team fouls by the Pilots now. No matter what, Michael Singletary, a big threat in transition. Michael Singletary leads the team in scoring at 22.6 points a game, which is good enough for 5th best in the league among qualifiers. There's Coach Roger Fujita sporting a blue face mask with the training flag on it. No substitutions yet. Taoyuan through the middle, couldn't get the pass off. Still be Pilots basketball. About 10 seconds on the clock. missed pass. Hayden back to Colbert. Will be a foul on the closeout by Degara. Oh, he's been hanging back a lot more on the defensive end, but that time jumping out to challenge the shooter. First foul for the Braves on the game. Interesting to see the Pilots rotation. They only played about 9 guys for their full rotation yesterday, including Guandayo off the bench, and the player interviewed pregame, Chen and Wu Jingxiang coming back from injury.
Right, Degara fouling Tolbert there on the 2-point line is actually, it's really bad, especially when Pilots is one of the worst team in shooting threes, and they attempted the least threes made so far.
Well, it's a tie game now. Jet, baseline, finds Degara, but not great with the hands, and slips back to Joseph. Forces up a push shot. It's going to be numbers for the Pilots. Jajing lays it in. Pilots take the lead back. One of those kind of mixed up plays where Degara has a shot and then Joseph Lin has a shot, but Braves a little bit off rhythm. They're coming off of a break too. Joseph Lin driving, floats it off the backboard.
And that is Joseph's iconic runner slash floater. Whenever he gets into a situation where he beats the first defender, he always gets a lot of opportunities in scoring the paint.
Basketball seems a little slippery right now. Robinson shaking right, left, and getting to the basket. Nice play, not as emphatic as his dunk. Singletary had them not bounce off his hands. Good transition D by the Pilots. Previously, Wu Jiaqing.
See, we've seen this movie before, right? A missed layup on the other end, a little sloppy on a transition defense, and then it's a free layup.
Long inbounds to Mengxue. Joseph Lin, Degara. Jet left open in the corner. In and out. Degara almost stepping too far.
Whoa.
Michael Singletary instead with the 3. Team rebound for the Pilots. That's the thing about Degara. Sometimes, if he doesn't meet that resistance, you end up getting too deep. Robinson with a tough fadeaway, no good. A little bit bigger crowd today than yesterday. Joseph Lin fires and hits from 3. As I mentioned, Jet had a great game and is taking the #1 domestic scorer spot for the Braves, previously held by Joseph Lin. Ayao off the down screen with energy, with a tough lay-in. Yesterday was perfect from 2-point range, as was Rando Walco. Kind of a rarity to see that. They're looking for Degara. He's got deep positioning and got the easy lay-in. By Colbert, Ray. Getting it to Ayao. Early 3, definitely not part of the offense. Now Jet to the basket, crashing, leaving it for Mengxue. Referees with a no call, as Ayao was in the restricted area. So 16-13 Braves with the lead, about halfway through the first quarter. Hayden bouncing it off a Brave. And that buzzer will be our first break in the action. Pretty good pace in this one. We'll be back after this break. Thank you for watching the Plus League.
You tried to intercept, make checkmate like it's chess. I'm in rook on my neck. Yeah, I deal with you.
现在各位乘客、球迷看到我们的大荧幕，跟我们的爸爸耀宗一起举出你2只手臂，秀出你的 muscle。
看着手机的朋友，秀出你们的 muscle，
黄色的校队外套帅哥，耶！
跟着爸爸的动作 ，Hello 朋友，
秀出你的双手
muscle， 穿着衣服一样可以展现一下。 类似 muscle cam，Hello， 这一位戴着眼镜、气质出众过人的美女，频频的明明知道在 Q 你，还在看手机的哈。
弟弟，你的时间来了。我们的 P.LEAGUE crew 也秀出他们的肌肉。
The Plus League will have no breaks from now
也欢迎我
through
们
the
乘客
finals. Like the stream, take us the rest of the way.
很有创意哦。
Some Pilots fans a little bit more aware than others.
提醒一下我们
We have the interactive camp here in Taoyuan Arena.
秀出你的 muscle。
A lot of Lakers jerseys I've noticed. Or maybe it's just all the yellow that people are wearing in support of Irizai's set.
还有我们的执行长。Hello， 秀出你的肌肉。
In the early going, 16 points for the Braves. Taking advantage of Samuel Zigarra's size, though he has also caused a couple turnovers himself.
Q 到你了，跟我们的耀宗爸爸秀出你的双手，2头肌。哦，男朋友在旁边吗？很棒。
As mentioned, the Braves still the strongest offensive rating team at 104.4, second highest in points per game at 96.9, but the defense is still the key, as is the same for the Pilots. But one thing that fans, longtime basketball fans might know is Roger comes out of the Taoyuan system, which is the Pilots corporation. He's fresh in the game. Commits the travel call, trying to drive the paint. He's been an important player for the Braves after his ankle sprain. That was the opening week. I think that was even opening day, and missing against the Steelers the next day. He's in along with Brendan Smart and Sun Xiangqun. Got a whistle and foul off the ball. East once again with a foul. He's trying to guard Robinson. Out of the baseline, Guan Dayo does not spring free. They'll try again from top. Singletary's face way overshoots it. Now Singletary on the block, terminates the dribble. Joseph Lin working left, intercepted, and here come the Pilots on the run. Wu Xiang able to finish the play.
And that's a great tip from Hayden, who's had the reputation of being a tenacious defender, good at reading passing lanes. He's a great addition to the team.
Ray swinging around in the block shot.
Block.
But Singletary is there, can't finish. June will get the reset. Joseph Lin through the middle, missing the layup, and the Braves missing opportunities. Another lay-in for the Pilots. They can't keep up. Wu Jiajing gets going down court.
And that's what he does. He's got lightning speed. And if you don't focus on him for a second, he's gone.
Guan Dayo trying to check East. Smart on down. Ends up taking the fade away. Maybe not being a good selection as he had the size advantage. Wu Jiajing was the second in the SBL with 4.9 assists in SBL 18. Now Robinson trying to work against two. Fires up a wild one. Numbers for the Braves. Singletary meeting Guan Dayo at the basket. props to Guandayo for having the courage to go up against Singletary, but he's a little bit deep in positioning. That buzzer means Pong Pong come in, Chen Guanquan, along with Si Jingyao back into action.
Coach Tony has been playing Guandayo and Hayden on the court quite often, and I think a big reason to that is you need some toughness, some tenacity out of your guards, and that's what Guandayo can provide.
Singletary knocks down a pair. Down looking for Robinson on the post up, but he threw it away. Robinson just doesn't have the bulk, even against Zhenxiang during the post up. So a very odd turnover. I guess atypical, you would think. An import trying to post up local. There's Zero lighting it, running the point for the Braves as he fires and hits the three. The basket and out of bounds off the Pilots. He's had a rough shooting stretch prior, but ends up 4 for 9 against the Steelers. He scored 16 points. Most notably for that game, though, was the call that they missed, where Taylor Braun got a little bit underneath him on that three-point attempt. Both players were called for technicals on the other end. Lighting to Singletary, driving, passing. Smart will try from baseline three, no. Ayao waiting on the screen. Now across. Running out of time. Down forces up an air ball. And once again, Braves' length is really affecting the Pilots. Singletary, Xiangqun getting the bump, not the bucket. It's pretty clear the Pilots are staying physical against Singletary, especially in transition. These opportunities will open up. 4 team fouls for the Pilots in the first quarter. We've got about under 2 minutes to go.
This is what the Braves are best at. When they grab a rebound, they go downhill. When they see they have numbers advantage, they don't hurry up. You know, they don't hurry and try to get a bucket. They pass around, find where the mismatch is, and they exploit it. And that's why they're so good.
Digara is fresh into the game, and he'll be joined by Zheng Wending, landlord we call him. Braves now with the 6-point lead. The Pilots go to their Princeton. Guandayo left open, his three too strong. Deep pass, Digara up against three Pilots, I should say. And there's the foul. But just like the Pilots want their imports to run, the Braves have no problem with Digara running the floor either. The first foul for Popo. Digara hits the first. 30-year-old, last season played in Japan at the B3 level. After making a pair, the Braves get a turnover off a missed pass by the Pilots. Yeah, 4 turnovers to only 2 by the Braves.
The Pilots don't commit turnovers that much. They're 3rd in the league in committing turnovers, but they're worst in the league in opponents' point score off turnovers. So that's one thing that they need to watch out on.
Now they got a 10-point lead with Winston's baseline jumper. Sinio will try to answer, and what a beauty. Braves with a natural 2-for-1 now. Kingun to Winston, hitting the runner. That has been benefiting from a few more extra days of rest. Ayao behind the head, Tolbert shooting a set shot.
They call him the local import.
Now the Pilots in a zone look. Kind of a different, it's really a 2-1-2, different than even 2-3. This shot, and Tigara fouled before the clock expired. He'll go to the line again. So as much as Tigara is contributing on the offensive end, you gotta also kind of keep an eye on his fatigue levels, because so far in the season, in 5 games, he's only averaged 28 minutes played per game. The referees will be going to the monitor to make sure they put some time on the clock, the right amount of time on the clock.
We've talked about at the beginning of the game, where how do you plan to contain DeGuara? That's the #1 question for the Pilots right now. Because last time they faced him, DeGuara had the 20-10 against them. And when I first saw Jordan Tolbert guarding him by himself during the first possession, I wasn't sure how the Pilots were thinking about guarding him.
We have 700ths of a second on the clock. So thanks to our score table for getting that sorted out. It's not an easy task with some of these much older models. Made free throw by DeGuara. So far he's already 4 for 5. Make that 4 for 6. We'll head to the break with the Braves up in this one by 9 points. Thanks for watching the Plus League. Back after this.
72小时的373，吃可爱长大的小童，还有 P.LEAGUE Crew 的忙内陈璇，以及我们全队最小只的 Yumia 队长小雨，还有我们的橘子。欢迎乘客拿起你的拍拍上，和我们的节奏一起互动。好的，谢谢 P.LEAGUE Crew。现在他们会丢出6个信物，拿到信物的球迷朋友们，等一下中场可以参加我们的王牌对对碰，有机会可以把一整套的王牌球员卡带回家哦。想参加的朋友，赶快举起你的双手，挥舞你的拍拍扇，让他听到你在哪里。获得信物的朋友可以参加我们中场的王牌对对碰游戏，待会也有一个神秘嘉宾。
小童尴尬了哦，小童。
再次感谢我们的 P.LEAGUE Crew。
The Plus League has a LinkedIn account. Follow that page for more English content.
各位乘客，准
See
备
the
好
new
你手中的
special
拍拍上，我们第2节的比赛即
business
将
class
开
seats
始
that the pilots have built inside as a little bit of a stand and VIP treatment. So fans treated to an elevated experience here in Taoyuan Arena. The first time they're playing in the stadium this weekend after starting the season having the NTSU homestand against the Steelers and the Lioneers. Done because Taoyuan Arena is used as a COVID-19 vaccine site. Right now, Johnny Yin providing some instructions for Robinson before he heads on the floor. In the first quarter, what kind of helped out with the Braves is 7 players scored, which has contributed to their early lead in this game. Seeing the ball spread around, the passing has been pretty crisp, especially the skip passing, which is going to challenge the pilots who want to sink in and collapse on Digara's possessions. They'll start with a basketball in the second quarter. Robinson working right, now takes the jumper, he hits it.
We've talked about that elbow jump shot. He likes that jump shot, and I feel like the pilots have to figure out a way to get him that look. He doesn't have too much arsenal in terms of creating shots for himself, but that is the money shot for him.
Pai Ting-un will rattle in a 3 of his own. Screen by Tolberg, gets it back, and will shoot a similar elbow jumper, too strong. Robinson had his chances yesterday's game, 7 for 18, 8 for 23 overall, as Digara keeps the key possession. Touch on the basketball, and the Pilots are running. Robinson working left, and with an acrobatic finish.
And that's exactly what the Pilots have to do, is to play fast. They need to keep up the pace. They need to exhaust Digara.
And they need a team rebound, just like Tony Ray right there.
Exactly.
After Guan Dayo getting the screen, kicking out. Wu Jiajing will hit the 3 himself.
Nice shot. Beautiful stroke.
Wu Jiajing now up to 7 points. His first 3-point attempt is down, and the first 3 made by a Pilot player. Deep possession, Digara, easy slam home. Over will try to get it back. Robinson, one-on-one against the landlord. Ends up getting fouled on the shot. Landlord's got long arms, but he does really get into the shooter's space a lot of the time, so fouls are gonna happen.
That is quite an understatement.
Get another look. Wu Jiajing with the first made 3 yesterday. The Pilots only 3 for 22 from beyond the arc. They pretty much gave up on outside shots in the second half, only taking 9 of them. Mongshe will check back in the game along with Singletary and Louis Jianwei-Ru. First team foul by the Braves, none by the Pilots in the second quarter.
Shit!
Robinson misses the first. He leads the team in scoring, rebounds, steals, and blocks. Part of that is, we mentioned the Pilots not having all their healthy guys, because a guy like maybe Ling Yaozong will grab a lot of rebounds as well. Will they get the long rebound on the free throw and another chance? Guan Dayo getting the foul on Pai Ting-un. It goes down to the floor hard. Mongshe has helped defense. look at that one as...
That was a loud thud. When his body hit the floor.
Oh, the first hit was against Digara, and the second one was the hardwood. He's standing up right now, trying to get composure, though he's got a limp going on. Carl Guandayo also had a lot of physical encounters with Singletary in transition in the first quarter. Speaking of Singletary, he's getting a high five from him. He's ready to go. No free throws. There's a foul before the steps and the shot attempt. So 2 team fouls by the Braves. Guandayo, Robinson getting the catch and shoot off to the left. Holmstrom swinging it around. Joseph Lin, the top of the circle. The 3, no good. Team rebound by the Pilots. Tolbert will get a shot attempt. Can't get it, and the second. Digara with his hands up a little bit late to the action. Now the Pilots find themselves just down by 5.
And that is a man in his element. Jordan Tolbert and Devin Robinson has a lot of similarities. And one is that they're very good at open court. They're very good at second point situations where if they get the rebound, it's very likely that they're going to score it.
Tolbert's at the line. So far, perfect 3 of 3. Now 4 of 4 from the line, and now 10 points. Now a little bit more of a 2-3 look. Lewis will try for 3, and it's butter. Becoming the 8th Brave to score in this game. Ayal backs it out. Brave, Royal fire and hit from 3, beating the shot clock. And the Braves call timeout, leading just by 4.
接下来 Palace Crew 场上听到这个节奏，就希望用你的声音一起为领航员加油。
再次谢谢我们 Palace Crew。
Plus League 2.0 pin sets available on the online store. Buy yours. PLeagueofficial.com/shop. Pilots trying to make it 2 wins in a row. And it'll be pretty impressive at home, as we mentioned in the first block. Home teams will often play back-to-backs on Saturdays and Sundays. And the road teams only playing 1 game on Saturday and perhaps 2 games Friday to Sunday, but with that crucial day off in between. A little bit to my surprise, Digara is getting a little bit more run in the second quarter to start. Bringing on top. Pilots still in their zone. Holmstrom will take the jumper, no. Guandayo through, lays it early, no good. foul on the loose ball. Missed opportunity, but what kind of energy you want. In fact, in this second quarter, the Pilots are out-rebounding the Braves 6-3. Joseph shot fakes and swings it around. Get past Lewis, cutting and called for the foul. Good look at that one. It'll be free throws for number 2, Lewis. Jinyota out of Fubon University. Been a Brave since 2020. Makes the first.
Last season when Plus League first started, G48 looked like one of the prime shooters in the league, one of the upcoming talents. This year he's gotten kind of a reduced role, but he still shows some flashes from time to time.
Right now, he's got a lot of bandaging on his hands. Got a badly sprained middle finger. Hope he wasn't doing anything inappropriate in terms of language communication. But there's another timeout. This time the Pilots trying to give their guys a lot of rest, which is kind of curious because there's almost 8 minutes left to play. They only have one timeout left. Well, the Braves, we mentioned defense. In the month of February, their wins against the Dreamers and the Steelers have held their opponents to 77 points, whereas the previous 12 games allowing 96 points per contest has resulted in their 500 record, now a 2-0 start to the, what we call the second half. It's really the second 2/3. When they allow more than 90 points, they're only 2-5, including famously their games against the Kings. But when they allow less than 90 points, they are 6-1. Braves do have one of the longer and leaner, I guess, longer rosters. The only player under 180 centimeters is Lightinga, 176 centimeters. So he's also one of the leaders in steals per 36 minutes played in the Plus League. Right now sitting at 5. Meanwhile, the Pilots are out of the timeout first. Trying to make their way back to perhaps a tie game heading into halftime or better. Last foul committed by Taoyuan, who's only played 23.5 minutes yesterday, was the only starter with -2. Looking for him to have a bounce back game in this one.
Yeah, this is a guy that has built a reputation of being having quick hands and having the ability to go downhill and have flashy dunks.
Jun missing the step back 3. Singletary to Joseph Lin. He'll try again. This time fouled on the drive, not yet taking the shot. It'll be 3 team fouls for the Pilots. Singletary has won week MVP in the Plus League twice this season. We've changed it to only one player winning the award as opposed to one for every team last season. The scoring output's been a little lower recently. Joseph Lin looking. Nothing found. And the Braves ran out of time. They were looking to guard his way, but he never got in great positioning. Credit to Pong Pong and Chen. Flare screen, nothing yet. Trying to get the mismatch, and Lewis commits the foul before the shot attempt. Yesterday's game, Fubon played 23 minutes. Only scored 2 points, but had 6 assists. Didn't go to that trusty right hook very much. Still a contributor in his own ways. He only grabbed 3 rebounds. Wandayo, fire in Jet's face, no. Struggling big time after we gave him credit for allowing him to Shang-Chi, missing the transition layup. Down, lays it early, but out. Lewis, that was good, and Kizara takes it home. They're looking for Wandayo on the curl, not yet. Over, step back deep two, keeps it short, and Tagara with a long rebound. Trying to match and surpass their largest lead of the game. Joseph Lin driving into space, passing it right to Wandayo, but he gets it back and blocked. Early foul. Wandayo might have considered going down to the floor with that intercepted pass. That's into a dangerous spot. He'll get subbed out right away. P.LEAGUE, number 12, will come into the game.
Sloppy passes after sloppy passes that lead to a basket, in my opinion, is the story of this Pilot season so far. They have been trying to play fast, but a lot of times it just resorted into careless turnovers.
There'll be a timeout for the Pilots. That's their second and only timeout left. Still trying to make the rest of 5:36 without the ability to pause. They're about to sub in P.LEAGUE, who was a DNP in yesterday afternoon's game. They only played 142 minutes so far in 10 games played.
我们新加的那个边线底线跟那个弯下都是盯人跟重可以用啊，所以要继续跑。哎，现在分数9分球啊，9分球啊 ，OK 啊，还在我们的掌控之中啊，只是现在的体能有点下降，防守篮板扛得很凶，所以在处理球的时候，第一你不要乱跑，第二空间拉好，如果你真的要干的话，那你就要干了，不要兜来兜去，不要兜来兜去，会增加防守协防的这一个力道，清楚一点。 进不进没关系哦，来。
Only noticing the fatigue levels of their players increasing quite a bit, and his advice is to keep things a little bit more simple, kind of reduce all the excess movement that they don't want to do. This quarter, after bringing it to within close, now they're back down by 9 points where they started this quarter.
Also mentioned securing your position, box out, and secure the rebound. And that is the utmost important thing for the Pilots right now.
Dishing out will bring the ball down on offense. Interior pass poked away. Let's see what the Pilots have on their secondary attack. Ray fouled on the drive. It's gonna be free throws. Personal foul on Brendan Smart. Got his hands involved too early. Smart also taking a big step up in his second season. Now with 8.2 points per game and 8.2 rebounds per game would lead all Brave domestic players. Mary splits the trip. Smart and Singletary on the side. Dribble and take the pull-up shot. Lead back up to 10 as Holcomb fires from 3, no good. Stopped the ball, and now the Braves swing it. Jet to Singletary, his shot, no. Long rebound to the Braves. Jet out of bounds off of Ayal. Utilizing every foot of space on the baseline extended. The Pilots ordering this special hardwood for their Plus League competition. So it did arrive quite late last season, so they didn't get to practice on it much, and they discovered it was quite slippery until they started playing on it. Rebound by Tolbert.
It's always hard to adjust to new things. And just ask Ayal. He's had his role kind of reduced. He was playing a lot more point guard last season. This season, and Coach Tony's team, he's playing a lot more off ball. But in recent games, I've seen Ayal getting a lot more possession, a lot more time on the top of the key, and that is a good thing. When he's on the top of the key, handling the ball, he can create shots for himself, and he can also create for his teammates. And that's what the Pilots really need right now.
A basket by Jack Lichangju. Ayal dribbles and fires from 3, beating the clock, and they say it hit the basket. Tolbert can't get the putback. Great fire, but nice closeout, and kind of a scramble for the Braves, doing a zone look themselves. Now it's man. Ayal into trouble. Jack on his first out attempt is good.
And that is a beautiful pass.
Timeout Braves. So, a couple broken-ish possessions, but saved by some extra effort rebounding. Sometimes you gotta put in a lot of effort in different times to see some of those results, as we see the Pilots bench enjoying that one.
Yeah, they don't attempt a lot of threes, so every three that they attempted needs to count.
Now the Pilots 3 for 12, as we see Zaisa speaking with Charles Chen pregame. On the season, Jack Hong is only a 3 for 15 3-point shooter. Good to see the first one go in. There's Charles with his 2 cell phones, as always at the game. One eye on the broadcast, one eye on social media. So by my count, we've had 4 team timeouts in the second quarter, which is supposed to really work in the Pilots' favor, having their back-to-back, a tough matchup, defensive struggle against the Dreamers, as it is always. Crucially, the Dreamers without Chen, who's dealing with a little injury. 3 minutes to go. Right now it's Pilots with Taoyuan, Hayden, Pong Pong, Jia Kang, and Robinson. The Braves have Singletary, Jet, Xiangxun, B, and Digara. Long shot attempt. Robinson pokes it to himself. Eye to the basket, gets too deep, and throws it out of bounds. That's one of those cases where, as an offense, you've got to actually go to the corner and not even to the basket, which is a little counterintuitive.
But what really gets me from that possession is that even though Jet missed that pull-up, he got a great look. That was a great disintegration from that zone defense. Ooh,
now he blinked it out of bounds according to the referee, so another turnover. It's only the 5th by the Braves in this game. Robinson hesitating, now going to the basket, beating Digara there with speed. Now he's joined Tolber with 10 points. Smart defense. Ray leading the break. Pajatrin, who gets the push shot. A quick floor run by the Pilots.
We talked about good at reading passing lanes, fast at going downhill. That's what Ray does.
All the defense on the side, as this time there's a foul committed by the slot official. Just like with the Dreamers, when you take your risk stripping the basketball, you're going to be called for fouls on the occasion. With the Robinson hesitation, that's really starting to display the counter moves you need even as a perimeter player. He likes to take the mid-range shot, but that time hesitates and drives to the basket.
You mix it up a little and you go small. That's your win condition. One thing really underrated from that play was Pong Pong's quotation mark moving screen that stopped Zhen Xiangjun from even get close to Devin Robinson.
After a couple made free throws. Ray takes a tough jumper. Looks like he missed everything on that one. Down by 6. Pilots over to the Braves in the bonus for the rest of 132. Winston to Digara. Good passing, good spacing. Robinson inbounds it quickly. They get the switch, and Robinson gets the foul and the basket. That time, Pom Pom looked like he was wrestling with 2 players down there to clear out some space. That was one of those screen assists. Once again, going to work. Winston still really good at all the small things. Gets the entry pass for Digara. The Braves got to know Robinson's almost always going to be driving right. Friendly bounce. Now back to a 5-point deficit. East in the corner. Gets it back. His 3. Short. But the Braves are back on defense already. Statue floater in Digara's face. No. East to Winston. Dribbles, fires up the runner off glass, off his off foot.
That's the Winston special.
Taoyuan right now guarding the basketball. It's Winston. It's 3 for 3 so far for his 6 points. lane. Lee Jiakang in the corner, feeling it, buries the 3. 10 seconds left in the half. Pilots find themselves just down by 4. Degara will try from deep, missing badly. And a missed putback by Limoshe, and the Pilots with a well-executed final offensive play find themselves down by 4 as we go to halftime. Thanks for watching the Plus League. Be sure to leave a like, and we'll be back with some halftime analysis.
德国小柑橘，守护精彩瞬间。
好的，让我们再次欢迎 P.LEAGUE Crew 带来的表演。
Good evening, passengers. Welcome aboard on the flight. May we ask for your attention? Please raise both hands up in the sky. Now slowly wave from the left to the right. Left, right, 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 left, right.
Is you taking notes?
3, 2, work. We about to go off, off, off. When the speakers go blow, blow, blow. Everybody turn up, up, up. It's about to go down, down, down. Make the whole room spin, spin, spin. Turn the bass up loud, loud, loud. We about to go in, in. And we can't stop now, now, now. Fuck it up, dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't. Do I have your attention? Fuck it up, dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't. Do I have your attention? This is a fuckboy PSA. Talk to the left hand, talk to the left hand, cause you ain't right. Which one of you motherfuckers I'ma fuck tonight? You staring, my booty know you see him. And tell your new boyfriend to stay out of my DMs. You heard me, stay out of my DMs. You so nasty, stay out of my DMs. Stay out of my DMs, my DMs, my DMs. Tell your new boyfriend to stay out of my DMs. Dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't. Do I have your attention? Dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't dance. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't. Do I have your attention?
谢谢我们的 P.LEAGUE Crew， 也请大家下半场继续跟他们为我们的领航员加油。好的，大家好，我是李伯鹏 YP Lee， 我们要来到中场的游戏王牌对对碰。首先跟大家介绍一下规则，我们有两边的篮筐，跑过去上篮之后冲回来，翻到2张一样的牌，就代表你获胜了。那如果没有翻到呢，也请把牌盖回来，继续的上篮，好吗？那我们今天会有6位乘客跟我们一起共襄盛举，2 PK， 获胜的就可以得到我们全套的王牌球员卡。那在我们6位乘客当中，第一组要来的是一个特别的来宾。
For the first time, Kai on the English broadcast here, looking through some of the notes we had from the first half. 10 Braves players have scored, and Degara with 15 points in 17 minutes played, but you gotta wonder, how is his fatigue gonna hold up and his stamina in the second half?
Exactly, like you said, Degara never really played much this season. Even when he played, he never really played more than 36 minutes. So it really is a big challenge to him, considering that it's extra exhausting living in the paint where everyone's trying to clamp you. So I think this is a great showing for him so far. He is pretty much unstoppable in the paint. And I think Pilots will put more people on him in the second quarter, just because he is just too big of a menace in terms of getting the rebounds and getting inside presence. So we will see how it goes in the second half.
There's the combined team stats, but what's not on there is their free throw attempts. The Braves already taken 18 free throw attempts and made 13 of them. to 9 attempts by the Pilots. So they're not losing too badly on the offensive rebound side. Zagara has 5, but the other Braves combined for only 4, while the Pilots themselves have 5 offensive rebounds too. So that'll be a crucial part, of course, turning the basketball over, at least the silly out-of-bounds turnovers. But they're avoiding the live ball turnovers that leads to the Braves runouts. They haven't had the best time attacking the Pilots in transition, whereas the Pilots have found themselves scoring fast break points just like they did yesterday against the Dreamers.
Exactly. Limiting turnovers will be the Pilots' top priority. They need to secure the basketball, and they need to not be sloppy when they're in transition, because that is their bread and butter. They need to score in transition in order to even have a chance.
Now the foul count is also something that's been relatively under control for the Pilots. Right now sitting at 11. You probably would live with that. Though of course you'd also like to see the opponent's free throw numbers go down. Something interesting, he didn't play yesterday, but fresh into this game, the Jia Kong came in with about 5-36, hit 2 3-pointers, and ended up being +4. So you always need a surprise stand-up performances wherever you can get them. We'll go to our breaks before the second portion of our halftime analysis. Thanks for watching. Back after this.
记忆力的挑战啊，记忆力的挑战。那一张是阿瑶，另外一张阿瑶在哪里？在哪里？恭喜先生获胜啦！恭喜你！来，我们旁边稍作休息，待会一起颁奖。谢谢谢谢。好的，让我们欢迎。待会我们同学先洗好牌，让我们欢迎第3组的嘉宾来参赛哦。等我们先洗个牌 ，shuffle 一下。哇，这其实很难，是一个记忆力的挑战哦。也欢迎各位这之后呢，这一周还有一些中场的比赛，共襄盛举一下啦。好的，欢迎我们第3组嘉宾。哦，有这个弟弟来挑战。哦，爸爸 ，OK， 爸爸来合力一起翻牌。好的，那我们听这个老师的音乐，准备上篮喽。
1 2 ready go。Go
go 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 go
go go go！
再来，弟弟加油！我们帮弟弟一起加油，好不好？再来 ，Go go go！
弟弟加油，弟弟！
再来，弟弟加油！
赌神来喽！一波你帮他投，一波你帮他投。进，弟弟翻牌。没有，要继续。
来，看来我们对面先生还没有翻到哦。看我们对面先生还没有翻到，弟弟加油 ，Go go go！ 哎，
弟弟加油！
波普在哪里？恭喜弟弟获胜啦！耶！也谢谢我们另一边参赛的先生。好的，我们请3位参赛者一起上来，面对我们的跑道席。面对我们的跑道席，我们即将要来颁奖啦。来这边，不好意思，来这边，对，这里，面对这边。好的，我们这里有全套的球员卡，恭喜你！看前面拍照。好，我们一起看前面拍照，来，1、2、3，再张哦，1、2、3。 好的，谢谢我们参赛的乘客，还有我们非常厉害的弟弟，黄牌队对碰，后天见了。
Tonight, the game between the New Taipei Kings visiting the Hsinchu Jiekou Lioneers is the second night of Zainan Dalanqiu, the ever-popular weekend presented by Nanguang Tires. On screen is Aaron and Taibao, our Mandarin commentary. 球迷朋友，你可以转到中文台听中文的讲评。谢谢大家的收看。Looking through the box scores and the additional notes we've had is right now 10 Braves have scored, and it seems like they've taken a good advantage of their time off. Also, spreading the floor has been a big advantage for them, especially with the Pilots collapsing on Degara, still getting 15 points. Of course, Degara is doing his part by running in transition a lot of the time. And so that back and forth is a big test for him, and perhaps we'll see a lot more of Michael Singletary in the second half. Meanwhile, on the Pilot side, Robinson leads the team with 13 points, followed by Jordan Tolbert. Hayden with 9 points, seemingly pretty fresh legs. Li Jiakang, 2 made threes, has got him to 6 points, stitching out only 4 points, and definitely expect a little bit better, or hope to get better performances out of the likes of, say, Guan Daiyu, who's so far 0 for 4, or maybe Lu Junxiang, who's only 1 for 4, but dealing with his knee discomfort from the injury.
So what really jumped out to me in the first half is the Pilots' ability to bounce back. They played mostly man-to-man in the first quarter, didn't quite work out for them. In the second quarter, they played more zone, got much more success with that.
Second half coming after 3 minutes. We'll be back after this.
Speakers on blast with tremendous knock. TVs in the dash rims just won't stop. You need to be down with
好的，请我们乘客、球迷朋友们还没有去厕所的，赶快去！我们精彩比赛即将要开始啦！一起为我们的领航员加油
The Bentley is dirty, my sneakers is dirty, but that's how I like it. You all on my dick, I'm all in my bag. It's hard as to get. I do this no powder. I might take a sip, I might hit the blunt, but I'm liable to trip. I ain't popping no pill, but you do as you wish. I roll with some fiends, I love them to death. I got a few mil, but not all of them rich. What good is the bread if my niggas is dope? What good is first class if my niggas can't sit? That's my next mission, that's why I can't quit. Just like LeBron, get my niggas more chips. Just put the rollie right back on my wrist. This watch came from Drizzy, he gave me a gift. Back when the rap game was praying like this. They act like two legends cannot coexist. But I never beef with a nigga for nothing. If I smoke a rapper, it's gonna be legit. It won't be for clout, it won't be for fame. It won't be cause my shit ain't selling the same. It won't be to sell you my latest little sneakers. It won't be cause some niggas slid
乘客们也记得佩戴好你的口罩，如果你口渴的话，快点喝水，再把口罩带回来。准备好你手中的拍拍扇，第3节的比赛即将要开始了。
For the first time in the regular season, the Plus League will have Tuesday night games. That's March 8th in 2 days, right back here in Taoyuan. Pilots welcome the new Taipei King. Here's Isaac standing nearby with his team. He's not registered for this game. As in the Plus League, 3 imports are allowed on your registered roster, but only 2 on the active game day roster. Really inspiring that the fans were the ones that came up with the I Stand With Ukraine flags and have spread it widely amongst other stadium attendees. Brave second out of their timeouts as the Pilots just about ready to go. As you mentioned, Yuri Zaisev, the champion now in 2 leagues. Previously with the Taiwan beer team, where he won a title there, and in the first season of the Plus League, champion along with these very Braves. They're ready to go. Not happy with the way they finished the second quarter, especially. Returning to action in a few weeks will be Josh Silkwayu, who had an impressive 14 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and 3 assists in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers that the team Chinese Taipei played in Okinawa, twice against Australia and once against Japan. That Japan game, in particular, Josh scored a team-high 21 points. People were calling him a Singletary lookalike in that game. Those 2 guys are very close. He's will start things off with a 3 from the corner. Bad pass and raise. Chance to run 2-on-2. Singletary to Beast. No look pass to Funksher, who throws it at the rim. Let's fire the basketball around. Running low on time. Ayao crashes into Funksher, and they're going to call a blocking foul. Kind of funny, Roger saying, well, if you're going to take that blow, you might as well go to the floor. Could be a no call. So the Pilots get 14 more seconds on this possession. Second personal on Ray.
That's just a terrible call in general. It's a moving screen that was never stationary. It's an easy call.
Air ball by Jiajun. Shot by Joseph Lynn to the right. Hayden out to Robinson, driving left this time, but passing immediately. Bad spacing, they'll need to find somewhere else. Ayo might have got away with traveling. Over will reduce the shot and planks it right. Singletary, show him how it's done? No. Kind of cold to start things off. Robinson, that closeout by Degara. He'll fly in for the 2-hand slam. Well, Degara had that bad closeout before, and Robinson punished him again.
Like I've said, he's a monster in the open court. When he gets that open driving lane, he's going to drive and he's going to dump the ball into the basket.
Passing it to Degara, who's fouled by a number of Pilots. They're going to just count it on one guy. They're double check communicating. It will be Hayden. We see there's no need for Degar to go out so far to defend Robinson. He doesn't have extreme three-point range, and as much as I maybe known his left-hand dribbling abilities, made it work that time. Pilots down by 5 with free throws to Degar. Free throw. The other player that is part of Team Chinese Taipei is the Pilots center Ling Chen, who also himself had a pretty decent showing. Not statistically, he missed a number of close shots, but his defense taking a step up, and the Pilots would love to have him back in that form. Ayao kicking it. Now Yurei getting beast to foul him. No shot.
On every winning team, you need a guy like Ling Chen, who's willing to do the nitty-gritty work, who's down to do the dirty work.
Be a sideline out of bounds.
But I do want to go back a little back to that Devin Robinson dunk. I think playing man-to-man is starting to hurt Braves a lot, and they can't see it.
Dylan, man. Ugara and Singletary involved in the pick and roll defense. Successful that time. Deep pass fake, dribbles to the basket, and blocked by Robinson.
Beautiful block.
Gets me the rebound finally. Past half court. Ayal fires a 3. No. Braves really dodged one there. For the steal attempt, Joseph Lin can't punish them. Yeah, good pacing in this one right now, but I want to see the basketball go in the hoop. The Horde set. Pick and roll from the imports. Robinson's shot rattles in and out. Singletary spins, foul, plays it home. Taking his time to get back up. The Pilots are asking for a clear out. Doesn't extend the arm very noticeably. Hayden might have knocked into Robinson on the ball.
One of the best attributes from Singletary, outside of his outside shooting, his dynamic scoring, is his physicality. As a combo guard, as a swingman, he is really physical. And when he first bumps into you, when he beats you by the first step, he's gone.
Zhang's in the game, sporting his knee brace, along with Guan Dayo. Pong Pong fires the 3. Bad grip. He's looking at Guevara. Open, overshoots the pass. Ujajing not looking to exact some revenge. They swing it around. Now he tries the 3. No. Pilots are doing good things, but finishing possessions with a score has not been one of them. Guevara working Joseph Lin. Deep, fires for 3, rolling out. Gets it out before 3 seconds. Scrambling offense, Guevara didn't get off the air, but finishes the possession with mid-range. Even that possession was pretty decent Pilots defense. To the corner, and Xiang touches it out of bounds. So far in this quarter, the Pilots only 1 for 8. Though holding the Braves to 3 of 10. Probably take it if Degar is shooting the mid-range shot. Pilots in zone. Into traffic, beats to Zagara. Patient play and it pays off. That's a quick answer. The Pilots, unlike their previous losses where they would get down and give up on the game, they're trying to stick in with the Braves. Last year's champions, #1 seed at time, season 2.0. As Beats has a 3-run delay.
And Fubon's gotta get back down low. Gotta get back down low to guard.
On offense. Red the screen. That was an off-ball foul, it looks like. Be a chance for our first timeout in the second half. Tired legs right now. The Braves have pulled it apart just a little bit. We'll be back after this break.
Till it come time for me to have to get her hers. Tell me what you want. Do you want it? Put your feet crammed to the. Do you want it? Put your face in the pillow so you can yell.
各位乘客、球迷朋友们，看到我们大荧幕哇，这是我们的中立球王嗨咖，跟我们的 Devin Robinson 一起比出
招牌手势
No noise， 你的食指在哪里，嗨咖？
嗨咖，你摄影机都找不到。 没关系，
这个摄影机找不到，可能要丢饭碗了。看到我们 Yogi 的那边，没错，哇，这个美女举起你的食指，跟我们的 Devin Robinson 比出 No noise， 没错。乘客、球迷朋友们，比出 No noise 的手势吧，一起应援我们的 Devin Robinson， 还有我们的领航员球员，还他再一次机会。 No noise 手势，举起你的食指，你就是不做嘛。OK， 好，没问题，中立球王自己的态度。OK， 好的，两位美女 No noise 跟我们的我们大荧幕互动。
Braves lead 13-4.
我们造型非常帅
Not for lack of effort on the Pilots side.
比出 No noise，
Getting
帽子小姐姐
8 stops so far.
That's right, that's right.
Scoring on 2 of their offensive possessions.
举起你的食指，哎，爸爸好贴心哦。
One thing the Braves defense has done well is prevent assist opportunities for the Pilots who like to pass the ball a lot.
No noise.
They'll be coming out with
看到大荧幕的发现是
Pong
女帅哥，全场都会看荧幕，对不对？全场都是帅哥。
Robinson.
OK， 我们比赛即将开始。
And Guan Dayo. So I was telling the story, Li Jiakang got the nickname Sid from his teammate, so I haven't asked him if he's okay with it.
I'm sure he's fine with it.
Getting down on the baseline, not a lot of space. Ayao from the corner, short. Braves certainly in no hurry. Jet fires from 3, bouncing out. Robinson dribbles it into Lai Tingun, who looks like there might be a foul. It's kind of awkward because we got 2 number 0s on the floor right now. Kind of one of those incidental plays that they might downgrade on the rare occasion. It's definitely a difficult area because it's a transition place for the referees. One guy's looking back and one guy's got a stacked angle, as they would call it in the officiating circle. So we'll see how this plays out, but if it does stand, still you have to wonder who's it going to be on. So the 2 officials on top of the monitor, the crew chief and the number 11 official.
I mean, you can even argue that King was the one who went into Devin Robinson's way. even though the push, the shove was very obvious and it's definitely a foul, but there is definitely a possibility of a downgrade.
Lai Ting-un is coming into this game tied for the lead in the Braves in terms of steals per game at 1.4 alongside Singletary and Jet. Both teams already out of their huddle. We'll get the call. Now just a common foul, it seems. On the Robinson teams. So Lai Ting-un jump in there, and kind of just an unfortunate situation that Robinson found himself in, but with Lai Ting-un going to the ground, you pretty much have to call something. Good news for the Pilots is only their third team foul. So if it is an offensive foul, it would not count to a bonus. It's only the first foul for Robinson in this game. Landlord screen for Singletary. Back to Lai Ting-un. Passing out to Jet. His three. No. Go back on defense. Guandayo can't lay it in. But getting it back and putting it back in. Non-stop fight for a killer Guandayo. His first point of the game. Also on street, got the 3 rebounds. Walkout scored. Successful, and Xiaocon missed that assignment. Okay, the lone import for the Braves tossed it up. Sujian trying to beat Lai Ting-un with size, can't do it. Got his own board back. Killer Guan way off of the shot. Gonna have to make a big adjustment, but right now trying to get back on feet. Horrendous 3-point shooting quarter by this Plus League competition. Landlord clearing some space, patient with it, and hitting the easy one. Now it's 13-point lead.
Notice that the Pilots are playing a lot of 3-2 zones. I think Landlord has something to say about that.
Momo not looking for his own shot. Guandayo shoots the floater. Might have had an easier one if Momo just pulled up. Look at 4 points. Now 6 points. Make. Landlord takes a deep shot. Be off. They say Michael Singletary. Be a substitution. Over from Robinson. So curious as the Braves want to challenge it. So after the second quarter where we had 4 timeouts, we've got a unsportsmanlike review and now a coach's challenge in addition to the TV timeout, kind of stopping play. Seems to be advantage Pilots.
然后现在尽量是麦克在这边，平恩你进来的时候，中线，麦克在这边，那这边克，中线你直接克，克下因为你有高度优势，那没有的时候这边再出来，我们再做西班牙 pick and roll。可是这边的时候中线克进来看看这样有没有机会。那还有一个全部拼，如果他防守锁得很开，你就像刚刚一样可以直接打掉。
Listening on to the quick huddle by Roger.
每个人都拿篮板。We got rebound and bench.
Sounds like we'll get Jet and
然后我们大概是2分半，我要把线带上去啊，然后你们要在防守的时候，重点是推打。我们刚刚好不容易守住，就没有拿到篮板。来底线发球，底线发球。我们底线发球，我们原本用原本的那个。
Even though Singletary hasn't really shown much in this game, but he's low key in a triple-double count. He has 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. And I think that just shows how complete of a player he is. Even though he is not scoring a ton of points, he is finding ways to impact the team in various ways.
See the replay. Trying to understand why they called it off of Singletary. His hands were pretty close. Landlord, Singletary, smart. Probably got away with traveling there. Out of bounds, and they call it an even. Jump ball. It will be Pilots basketball defending that ATO. That's a positive sign, but they still need a score. Down to 15-6 in the third quarter. Foul by Lai Tingyun on the outside. Had a foul to give, but I don't think that's the way they want to committed it.
And then aggressive press by King. They ended up backfiring.
Smart will come off for Zagara. Double high screen. Over. Stepping back on Zagara, forcing up a shot and burying it. Took a while, and Tober now got 12 points. After sitting at 10 for 40 this quarter. Singletary dribbles left, can't hit the shot. Long rebound, Tober. In a game like this is where you think the coaches should count deflected rebounds too. Jiakang overshoots the mid-range.
That seems like a rather reckless shot selection.
Jet pumping and laying it in with the right hand. Got a little help for the landlord.
And surprisingly, that's his first 2 points of the game.
Previously 0 for 6. Mandayo drives. Nothing, so Tober. Try to find something. Forcing up a shot and getting another tough one. Now Jet, this time unsuccessful, and the Pilots look to stretch the breaks out. Bump. Not a scoring threat from 35 feet. Give it up. Mandayo hammers. Tober beating the clock short. Another possession. Ayao puts his head down, goes to the basket. Jiakang choosing this mid-range and still missing the mark. They want to go quick for this possession. Landlord lost track of the time. Singletary dodging defenders, putting up the layup. No good, but fouled. Yes. Not the best vertical leaper, but certainly can cover a lot of ground on his hops. Finally, substitutions for the Pilots. Jiakang coming out as his pom-pom. Robinson will be in the game too for the last 30 seconds. Meanwhile, the Braves go small. Shamjung and Smart in the front court. Extending on the lead. Singletary makes the first. Makes two, and Lewis will come in for Singletary. Braves don't have any fouls to give. About a 5-second shot clock, game clock difference. There's the foul call. Smart got a little bit behind, but in front of him was Hayden. Not an easy assignment. Robinson set the screen and kind of missed with the reach of the hand. Ujaching. He's on with the free throw. He's been with Taoyuan since 2016. You could consider that even longer as he went to NTSU here in Taoyuan. 1-2 trip. And now the Braves go offense, defense. Less than 13 seconds to execute a score. For Joseph. Through pass, intercepted. Here come the Pilots in transition. Running alone, Chen. Robinson flings it up and hits it! What a way to go to the fourth quarter. Pilots hanging in there, down by 9. Getting that boost before the break. Haven't liked your stream yet, do so now. We'll take a break before the fourth quarter of this one.
再次掌声给我们的 P.LEAGUE Crew。哇，太精彩了！在这边也有一个资讯要跟大家说，一起支援收银。3月19、20的门票，我们会在3月7号的中午12点在全台 iPhone 售出，也欢迎我们所有乘客一起支援收银。我们第4节刺激的比赛即将开始。
One final quarter for the Pilots to try to get even with this game and even take it from the Taipei Fubon Braves, as that final 12 seconds, instead of a score, the Braves end up giving up a deep 3. Really inexcusable, as they also had the opportunity to make substitutions. Driving and getting stuck. Gives it up to Singletary way deep. Pump on the switch will fire for 3 and bury it.
And that's what he does. He has the ability to pull up on almost anywhere on the court. You have to keep a close eye on him, or else he will make you pay.
He will get more aggressive in the fourth quarter. Robinson screens the streak down. Crashes inside and ends up being a turnover. Singletary up to Lewis, lays it in. The quick 5-0 run for the Braves. So much for the Pilots comeback. Pilots. These are the struggles start from the beginning of the fourth. Can they turn it around? We'll go to one last break for the rest of this one.
Pilots! 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 再次谢谢我们的 Pilots Crew！
Quick run by the Braves, and they're looking to put away the Pilots even before the halfway mark of the fourth quarter, and that's what good teams will do out of timeout. So the Pilots trying to get an answer back. Kind of unfair to be putting up the 0 on them, even though we're only 48 seconds into the quarter. Robinson working the left. Twisting it around. Guan Dayo makes space, lays it short, getting his own rebound back. Robinson detaching his 3, no. Pom bouncing into Smart. He passed out of bounds. Pilots kept the break there. Now Lewis, Smart, Xiangqing, Singletary, and Joseph Lin. That is actually a combo that the Braves took down the Lioneers a couple times with. The funny thing about that is, against the likes of Sim Fular, Robinson faking a couple defenders out, floating it and in. Good play with patience that time. Okay, guarded by Guan Dayo. Now stripped. And an unsportsmanlike will be called, though once again, fans, remember, it can be downgraded. So Singletary frustrated, understandably. And it looks like the referees will not be going to the monitor for this one.
Towards the end of the third quarter, Coach Tony has been experimenting with some curious lineups. He was experimenting with some 3-guard lineups, trying to speed up the pace, trying to speed up the rotation, and it sure has been working so far.
This first, this second. They'll work on the touch at the line. Pilots look dead in the water in the third quarter, struggling to score the basketball. They'll have a long shot. Down by 12 right now. Almost driving. Right-handed hook on the run is money. Lewis brings 3 on the screen. Gets it. No. Block shot by Guan Dayo. Pilots, that defense is improved. As Joseph Lin stripped Pom. Here comes Braves. Out and the basket. Look out down there, but the Braves execute a great counter. You know, another look at that one. Singletary, beautiful passing transition.
The good thing about a fast-paced offense is that a lot of times when you play it right, you can catch your opponents off guard. But when you're missing defensive assignments, when you're missing layups, or when there's a long rebound, you are risking a free 2 points.
Leon's only played 1 minute in yesterday's game. He's coming in with 9.5 minutes, just under. Kind of secure the middle for the Pilots. Green now doing the handoff. Guandayo to Jiaozong, slips to the other side. Jun Xiang can't make the three. So many missed opportunities out there. Pieces in the game for the Braves. Not in any hurry. Tries Degara once again. He's tied up and called for 3 seconds. There's 2 possessions down there. Degara, yes, going ahead and playing the clock.
Just attack, yeah.
His teammates giving him some confidence. Get after it. Catching. Can't get by Joseph. Robinson pull up off to the right. Fires away. Nope. Down low, intercepted by Smart. Diesel tried from the left. Maybe got away with the travel as Smart able to hit the and one. Guandayo was the man underneath him. Kind of a bad break for the Pilots, but they are not scoring, and the Braves taking advantage of the lack of momentum. That'll be the 5th foul on Taylor Guandayo.
And that was a bad rotation by Hayden. He went up to guard the ball handler and thus giving Beast a wide open look.
Marked at the line, first time tonight, makes the first. Guandayo will come off for Sunyao. Game slipping out of the hands of the Pilots. And to their credit, the fatigue of the back-to-backs not affecting them on defense. Holding the Braves to 82 so far is not bad, but on the offensive end, only 5 for 25 from 3 is not going to cut it.
That's for sure.
Robinson to the basket, posts it over to Gara, but it's short. It's an encouraging pace. Gara just saving it out of bounds. Oh, there's going to be a whistle somewhere. Looks like it'll be on Smart. Oh, it's good. A moving screen. A little bit over eager. Ayal, mid-range, can't get the bounce. Yeah, able to crash in there for the loose ball and get the foul. Kind of a bad break for Smart there. More substitutions. Tolbert in for Robinson.
Yeah.
At the line, Lu Jingxiang. And he scored 12 points, missing the first free throw. Gonna need everything on the remainder of 7 minutes. Colbert's in for the first time in the fourth. Pilots as a team only hit 66% of their free throws. placing them 4th in the Plus League. Winston looking for Dagara. Hiking the beast. Down to Winston with a runner. This time bouncing out. Dagara finally getting a putback. Tolbert misses the mid-range. It jumps high for the rebound. Could be the strip on the rebound, I should say. So we got Jing getting the landlord to commit the foul. He's kind of faked himself out there as the landlord caught 0 ball and all face. So 14 fouls by the Braves. That'll be an interesting development. Moving down 4 points on 2 of 3, now 3 of 4 free throw shooting. Not high-low action. The Braves get the beat. Misses the mid-range bank shot. Gadjing pulls it out. Mismatch, Pom-Pom. Tolbert. Outside, no. So many missed corner threes. The Braves give those up. They allow the most 3-point attempts in the Plus League. As Lightinga put the dagger in the Pilots with that nade three.
Yeah, to me, it's a little mind-boggling. In this game where they have created so many wide-open corner threes, they just couldn't convert them.
On the quarter, they are over 3, and I dare say all 3 were open looks.
Exactly.
2 for 10 on the quarter as a whole, including 3 turnovers. But to their credit, they've caused 6 turnovers by the Braves.
打台湾不要晃了。他的1要去帮忙，然后要干嘛？你们2个回头啊，再回头，那个就一个清楚的空档出来了。
3-point shooting first through 4th quarters. Only the second quarter's 4 for 10 is an acceptable mark.
哎呀，记住啊，哎。
Not a lot of words from Tony, but kind of just reminding the Pilots of the concepts they want to execute on offense and defense. Well, with 6 minutes left, let's just see if they can bring it to within single digits. They've struggled a lot against Dagara, and he'll be out for another stretch of time, but no excuse for the Pilots after playing really half of a game of good basketball, that half being the defensive end. Got to play a complete game. Tolbert trying to squeeze his way through getting the foul.
And the late foul call.
Called on Winston. Dagara kind of worked himself up to the other end of the floor. You see Winston with a hand reach. Bonus free throw.
It kind of seems to me that since their corner open threes aren't falling, they're starting to try to play bully ball in the paint, where that's their disadvantage. So I'm not sure where this is going, but I do hope they try to run a couple sets around Tolbert and Robinson, trying to get them some mid-range.
also didn't play yesterday, but in today is number 45, Wenli Huang. Moore makes a pair of free throws. Wenli Huang, listed at 200 centimeters out of Kiso University down in Kaohsiung. Deep corner three, in and out. Winston with a long rebound. Chen feeling it, and all net with that shot. Over, trying to put the move, slipped, and left into it, made two there. Cut through, assist by Landlord, too easy. Right into Guandayo, Jiakang. Really hesitant by the Pilots as Guandayo overshoots another three-pointer.
One thing most fans talked about regarding Guandayo, in terms of his weaknesses, is his outside shooting. He has great explosiveness. He has great defensive tendencies. It's just his shot has to fall.
So far this season, only 8 for 28 heading into this game. First time in the game is Jackie, former Pilot, Zhang Zhengyu. See if he can get on the board as one of the few Braves who hasn't scored. Last season, Guandayo was a 25% three-point shooter. Chen fires again. This time, finally, I guess mercifully missing if you're a Pilots fan. Wenli Huang first to touch the basketball. Now deep post positioning. Can't get the offensive board though. Doesn't have the legs under him. Numbers for the Braves. Jackie's three is good. This game, the Braves are 10 for 34. Almost the league average, 29%. Over working right, this time getting his shot. Just like that, Braves already with the 20-point lead, more than 20-point lead. Like foul on Jack, trying to free up Dugara. Mid-range, missing the mid-range. Having a rough night too, only 1 for 5. Chen bouncing the floater. So the bonus time by the Braves didn't hurt them after all. Guandayo pumps on the floater, no. Would have been an interesting and funny play. Jet's back in the game, probably just for some unit work. He's a missed shot. Stay with the Braves. Smart and Lewis will come in. It's an all-local lineup for the Braves. Out of bounds off the Braves. This is the first time this season that number 0 Lighting has scored in double digits. Juan Taoyuan gets another offensive board. Behind his head, Tolberg choosing to get more distance, and it worked for him. Jumping in and getting the steal on Jet. Ray, fancy Euro, and Juan Taoyuan airballed the floater. Tacom finally hitting a mid-range. Last 2 possessions left, but the Pilots didn't have enough legs to go. The last offensive possession for the Braves ends in the Jet scoring down low. Foul call though. Will be free throws. Yesterday evening, we said both the Lioneers and Steelers had an improvement, not in terms of the overall quality of their game, but I felt like the Steelers didn't give up in that game and cut it to within 2 points. The Lioneers, at the same time, they've seen plenty of games like that slip by, but in this second season, they got themselves reorganized, came out with a victory. I think the same could be said for the Pilots in this game, even though they're on a back-to-back. Defense was good and offense was not, but they still had something to show for this game. At least getting it a little bit closer midway through the 4th quarter. That's the final buzzer. The final score, 99-79 for the Braves, who currently are tied for first place depending on tonight's results.
Outside of having a solid defense and create good looks for your teammates, a huge part of winning a basketball game, especially in a professional scene, is to have experience, is to know where your teammates are, and to have good communication. And I think it's obvious that Pilots is still not on par with some of the Tier 1 teams that we had in the Plus League so far. They still have a lot to work on, but like you said, they've shown a lot of flashes today. They've created so many open looks in the 3rd quarter that never converted to the basket. But over time, over a lot of practices, I believe that this is a team that has a lot of athleticism, and they play fast, they play dynamic. It is just only a matter of time before they figure out how to combat these giant lineups.
So the player to be interviewed in the post-game coverage is number 0 Lightingood, who scored 8 points, which would have tied the lead for all scorers in the 4th quarter. Really finished this game off without a second thought. Lightingood was dealing with pretty serious ankle issues coming into this season and had that freak out injury of getting stepped on in
受伤嘛，然后就一直调整身体的状态，然后后来加进去团队训练的时候，就慢慢的融入他们，然后因为在这个球队也待很久，然后就进入状况的时间会比较快这样。
He's really familiar with how the rehab works and how they want him to back to playing for it. Asked about the Braves team defense.
就是场上的沟通会多一点，然后大家练球就更专注，因为下半季我们就想要就是找回我们上半季的那些霸气，然后能够继续连胜下去，甚至到冠军赛。对。
Wants to keep the winning going all the way to the finals.
我觉得就是一场一场慢慢来吧，对，不要给自己太大压力，然后一场一场调整，到表现出最好的自己的那个什么状态，对。
Asked if he has pressure to perform, and Taoyuan says focus on the process and we'll play really hard, which the Braves, for parts of that game, were not. We'll talk about all that after this break in the final wrap-up of Game 48 of the Plus League season. We'll be back after this. Final here in Taoyuan Arena, where at least on the weekend, the Pilots were able to get the split, defeating the #1 Formosa Taishin Dreamers yesterday, and having some stretches of good basketball against the Braves, but in the end, Lai Tian and company were too much for them. One big key is the Braves put on Samuel Digara, who limited, in part, the Pilots to only 24 points in the paint, where they scored 40 in yesterday's game against the Dreamers. The Pilots didn't have the advantage there, though. They also held their own turnovers in check, which is a big key that you mentioned in the pregame.
I think a phrase that is very familiar with almost every Taiwanese basketball fan is rebound wins championships, right? That's a good old saying. And the reason why everyone says that is because it's true. And the Braves, despite having some really sloppy stretches over the second half, they were just so dominant. They just slowly creeped up to the Pilots, and the Pilots had no answer for them.
They also had a rather acceptable, shall we say, three-point shooting output, whereas the Pilots, after yesterday, only shooting 13% from deep, in this game only shooting 18% from three. And as we talked about, they're a smaller team. You need those outside shots to fall for you also to have inside opportunities where defenses overcommit or those backdoors become open. So Robinson was their top scorer with 22 points. And on the other side, they had two players with 15. In the evening game, it's the Kings versus the Lioneers. It'll be a rematch and interesting, the same import combination as the Kings' last victory, though they did not play their best basketball. They have tonight's game, and on Tuesday, we'll see them right here. We once again be Kai and myself on the English broadcast. So on behalf of Kai, thanks for joining our time here in the league, in the teams, and all of our colleagues. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
抢占不懈，前面正中后，